Oui, bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour. Hop. Alors, attendez. Ça, c'est pas... Ouais, si, ça va. Le tweet est fait. Tac. Ok. Bon, je suis à mon stade comme d'hab. J'ai un peu augmenté my Layla. Enfin, pas en niveau. J'ai augmenté... J'ai changé ses artefacts. Elle a... 2 artefacts de la millélite, c'est ça? Attendez. J'essaie de me souvenir des touches en même temps. Et j'en ai remis un autre. Donc elle a celui-là, qui donne de l'attaque quoi qu'il arrive, donc... voilà. PV en pourcentage, PV. Tout ce qu'il faut sur elle. La fleur. PV en pourcentage, PV. Et ça, PV en pourcentage, PV. Pour l'instant c'est nickel, il manque ça et ça. Je crois que j'ai ça. Et c'est de l'attaque en pourcentage. Il me faudrait du PV en pourcentage ici. Et des PV en secondaire. Et ici j'ai rien eu. Enfin si en 4 étoiles. Oh même pas. Ah si ça. Bonus dégâts physiques. J'ai plus beaucoup d'artefacts. J'ai augmenté ces 3 là, niveau 20. 16 000 HP en artefacts alors. Voilà. Du coup. Bon bah ça c'est mort hein. Malheureusement. Du coup j'étais parti sur un autre plan entre guillemets. J'aimerais bien avoir Ayaka. Mais c'est pas tout de suite. Avant il y aura Al Item. Ah je vais vous montrer. J'ai mis à jour mon pmon.mouet là. Pourquoi tu enregistres? Quoi? C'est pas ça que t'es... Ouais. Mais non. Qu'est-ce qu'il me fait? Ah voilà. Ok. J'ai mis à jour mon compteur de vœux. Bon du coup 50-50 gagné. 50, oui Diluc. 78 vœux j'ai fait. Pour l'avoir. 55 avec Nomad j'en avais fait. Puis 76 avec ça. Pour une arme de merde. Et là il y a une petite flèche qui est apparue. En gros, le prochain personnage 5 étoiles que je dropperai sera celui de la bannière. Je pouvais pas voir ça avant. Je trouve les nerfs. Là c'est mort, hein. Je pouvais pas refaire 90 vœux avant. Parce que là ma pitié elle est à 5 du coup. Donc 85 vœux avant le prochain 5 étoiles à 100%. Mais j'ai vu des pourcentages à peu près. D'ailleurs qui sont assez étonnants. De 1 à 70 c'était marqué que il y avait quasiment 0% de chance de l'avoir. J'ai fait en 55 vœux celui-là. Comme quoi j'ai eu un peu de chance. Du coup mon pourcentage a augmenté quand même. Du coup. À 1,45. Au lieu de 1,11 normalement. Mais je t'ai descendu très bas, je t'ai descendu à moins d'1,80. Une fin de 0,80. Et pitié moyenne du coup c'est la moyenne des deux. 50%. 50-50 gagné sur les 4 étoiles. Moins chanceux que 75% des utilisateurs de pmon.mouet. Plus chanceux que 53% des utilisateurs. Plus chanceux que 55% des utilisateurs sur les 50-50. Moins de tirage que 84%. Pourtant, j'ai l'impression d'avoir fait pas mal de tirages. Après, j'ai tout fait en free-to-play. J'ai pas mis d'argent. Il y a ça aussi. Peut-être qu'ils prennent pas en compte ça. Hop. Du coup, quête d'histoire aujourd'hui. J'ai plus beaucoup de quêtes, j'ai tout fait. J'ai tout fait pour fermer les primos. Par qui va-t-on commencer? En vrai, Kazuha me tente bien. Vas-y, j'ai envie de le faire. Puis au moins, on aura fini avec les quêtes. Il a Libu ou Inazuma? Inazuma. Au moins, on aura fait tous les persos d'Inazuma, je crois. Oula, viens là. Je crois. Ah, je voulais regarder. Normalement, je peux voir. J'ai fait... Ok. J'ai fait 76 poules de... Raiden. Ok.
Why do I have to write so many papers? Why?
Qu'est-ce que tu racontes? En fait, avec ceux qui savent pas, les dégâts des projectiles de classe de Layla scale avec ses PV. Donc c'est pour ça que c'est intéressant d'avoir énormément de PV sur elle. Ok, je dois aller là.
It's been a while since we first set foot on Inazu. So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've so weird. Huh?
Elle est bizarre son épée.
Hey, what the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
You're dead!
What?
Huh? So you don't have a Seems like I've mistaken you for someone else.
At the very least, you should know. Wait, even when you've got the right person.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my time.
What the heck is this guy's problem?
What the heck is
Coming
this?
around here waving that weird sword in our faces. And he didn't even, well, one thing's for sure. No, right? Anyway, just to be on the same... Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other? Yeah, maybe a little. Anyway, there's no time to lose. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him.
Une route sans amis. Ouais, j'avais pensé à une team qui pourrait être pas mal. Enfin, faudrait voir ce que Ayaka donne. Et j'avais pensé à Ayaka, Thomas. Je voulais mettre Kujo Sara. Et soit Yao Yao ou Sayu en healer.
Quit following me.
Donc en général, la team de 4, tu mets tes persos préférés, quoi. Plus ce que t'as besoin, quoi. Et pour les donjons, bon. Tu utilises tes meilleurs persos.
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, if it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the captain, but she just laughs it off.
Oh, so you still don't know.
I've heard bits and pieces. Something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi.
Quelque chose comme
Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryou Commission. They said they had something. I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him. Seems like they really respect the guy.
Just a little while ago, this would have been completely unimaginable. Thank you. Guess we'll...
All right then. I'll just...
QG de la commission, mais c'est là-bas.
Squall and Fury.
Ikeda aussi. Mhm.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. Since you're here, you're very welcome. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill on behalf of the Shogunate. Your hard work has secured for us the agreeable state of affairs that we now enjoy. Also, the Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing, the tension. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name.
Kaidahara.
Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already... In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing the traditional blade forging arts of the Almighty Shogun. The Kaidahara... But there came a time when some of these bladesmiths revolted and fled to Snezhnaya. Both the Kaidahara and Kamisato clans were held accountable for lax oversight and entered a period of great turmoil. We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui. Attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato and Kaidahara clans was neither proper, considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma. The Almighty Shogun believes he should not only be rewarded for his achievements, but also in the interest of preventing further harassment of the Bladesmith clans by the Fatui, we chose not to publicly release the findings of our...
This is a true honor. I am delighted to be in a position to receive the goodwill. However, would I be correct to assume that this magnanimous gesture...
I can assure you that nothing could be further from the truth. We seek only... With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more. And you're wandering, you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty...
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood. I do have a
I sense some hesitation. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors...
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much praise that we almost wondered whether there was a...
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. They cannot accept the idea that Mr. Kaidahara really parried the Shogun's strike. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo, As a result, the falsehood that Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements at once...
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion, but perhaps if the shogunate is willing to publicly support me,
This is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought.
Ok.
In fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment.
Yikes! We nearly forgot.
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. That my fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standardize every motion the blade is put through. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaedehara sword art. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai.
All the more reason to watch your back.
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he...
In that case, I will send some men out immediately.
Thank you. I must say, I am now very curious about this matter. I will first join the traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a conclusive answer upon my return.
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
Et on va le traquer.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Ok, on va aller voir Ryuji encore. Encore.
The wind rises.
Salut.
Hey there! Do you know if anyone around here has been looking?
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara.
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an assault and would appreciate any help you can...
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town, so there are always a lot of people. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people. Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions...
Millions? Of mora?
Please, accept my thanks for looking up.
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, but I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks, or... The Tenryou Commission had very few leads. I thought...
It's true that the commissioners aren't clued up about every little thing that goes on out in the streets. But typically, it's only the... If anyone had been out there attacking people, that would be assault. In which case, the Tenryou Commission would absolutely get involved.
Uh-oh. Looks like the...
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured. For the poor victim, this would be a...
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero they make you out to be, Mr. Kaedehara.
You flatter me. Truth be told...
You are much too humble. Don't worry, Oh, actually, there was one... Let me tell you about it just in case.
Sure. During times like...
All right then. Recently, 2 people went missing. One of them is a pretty well-known collector, surnamed Nagato. The other, Amenoma Yuya, is a samurai from the Amenoma clan.
Peut-être lui qui nous a attaqué.
Amanoma. Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner. 2 grown men going missing at the same time. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know.
Sure, can't hurt.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by.
Sounds good.
Où c'est la forge là?
Ah, if it...
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. Historically, there have always been deep links between the 2 clans. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty shogun, and over time, unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each, as an example, the Amenoma art strives to... There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have As for the art of the Kaedehara clan...
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind, from the moment that for only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension of its wielder's will.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades, but an Ishin blade chooses. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own personal... But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit, we hope to assist with the investigation. It may...
Ah, yes.
Okay.
My nephew. I report he didn't say a word before he left, which is very unlike, but I've done what I can so far. Worrying is futile.
We heard that there was a collector involved in the disappearance too.
Yes. On the morning that Yuya went missing, he gave me a very cryptic look, and I believe he went to collect the item from Mr. Nagato after that. The next thing I heard was that a fire had broken out at the warehouse. Yes. Strange, isn't it? I wonder what could have caused it. Unfortunately... If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. Otherwise, there would have been no reason for him to get my hope. He's never been particularly interested in blade forging, but has always had a fondness. He is extraordinarily talented in martial arts.
Truth be told, we have some information that you may find to be objectionable. Based on the evidence we have gathered so far, only Yuya seems to...
What? No. Absolutely. He is humble and kind. Even his training is done with the goal of calming his mind. Yes. If there's one thing I can... But, with that said, I also cannot know what course of action he might... Anyway, should you find...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't think you...
Yes. It sounds as if something happened. Let's pay a visit.
Et puis là-haut.
Squall and fury. The wind rises.
Bonjour madame.
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing.
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help.
Ah, I see. I thought that I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know?
I'm afraid we don't have any new information at the moment. With this in mind, can we perhaps ask some questions about...
For example, Paimon struck...
That's a long story. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but everything was fine when we first got married. But as time...
Uh-oh!
He lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to borrowing. Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as debt collectors were descending upon our house. He wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring at them like, I'm happy he has a hobby and I'm willing to support him. But making ends meet has to come first. On the last day that I saw him, I gave him an ultimatum. I said, if he refused to sell his collectibles and pay off his debts, I would divorce him and take the children.
Whoa!
And that led to an argument.
Actually, it didn't. Generally, he's a quiet man who likes to go with the flow. On most things, you must understand, I never would have dreamed of threatening him with divorce if, after I said those words, he froze and was silent for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both he and the buyer had...
I see. I understand.
Ok.
Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale of...
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the price, but my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so...
Maybe he was feeling...
I don't know. He just disappeared. Perhaps he's too afraid to come home, now that all his collectibles have been lost in the fire, and he's got no way to pay off our debt. Even though I'm still a little mad at him. As long as he's willing to turn over and...
Please don't get upset. There could be more to this if collecting things is a habit that Mr. Nagato had his whole life. But the information we gathered from the other side suggests
A little confusing. More like
Let's try a change of scenery. Rest assured, we'll notify...
Thank you.
Ok, on mène une petite enquête.
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation... Do you have any thoughts?
well, Paimon was thinking... Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have... Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, they thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating and uncovered some but it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have... One fact that I keep coming back to is that Amenoma Yuya is polite and well-mannered. While Mr. Nagato, being heavily in debt, is also the only one of them with the potential motive to disappear after the fire. The more I ponder it, the more puzzling it becomes. Just what could have happened, right? Although the time frame seems to broadly match, no Amenoma Yuya lacks a key distinguishing feature of the attacker.
Darn! We thought we could get two birds with one...
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and
Okay.
Let's head out of the city and check out the warehouse.
Behold!
Squall and fury.
Ok, on va à l'entrepôt.
Wait, I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those, as sketchy as that whole thing seems. You did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound.
But there's nothing here.
It's gone now, but I can still sense that it felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. The remnants of the Tatarigami.
Le Tatarigami.
Indeed. But this unexpected spring of it, we should remain vigilant.
So it's an under...
The force is definite. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this place. But judging from the concentration, I would...
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around...
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy. From what I've been told, Tatarigami does not turn all up, but most will develop a stubborn streak upon being exposed to the Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatarigami could explain why he became an obsessive hoarder.
So what should we do now? Go down and take...
Step back. I'll open the door and take a... If we don't open this door, we can move no closer. You needn't worry. Both...
What's down there?
Everything's buried in debris. I can't... It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary!
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. Yes, let's go. Quiet your mind and focus. Quit following me.
Ok.
From this point, the trail appears to split into the main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance.
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
Cry louder! Squall and fury!
Look at...
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink, well, let's take a look. According to this letter, a conflict arose because Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chasing.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. At whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. There's nothing more for... Yes. If Amenoma Yuya is attacking...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey for a practitioner of the martial arts. The easiest desire to inflame would be their all the clues that at first seemed disparate and disconnect. I have a hypothesis that, if it's correct...
Wait, you figured it out?
I believe so. But it's something of an outland. On with the search. He seems to have stayed here for a...
Why here?
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that... Show yourself!
Histoires de Kazuha.
C'est lui.
It's you, at last.
Aha! What's your problem, huh?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. If it is Ame no Miyuya that stands but what if instead of facing Ame no Miyuya, we are in fact facing the blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, Whoa! Sure!
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects. The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, or rather, as a means to occupy.
You're sharper than I thought. You've already deduced the truth of the Many, many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan. You should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation by sea on a ship bound for Snezhna. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not... And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. All of his life, he not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me in her conceit. The Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world.
So... swords can become
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade. After the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So Ame no Miyuya was... Tell me, what happens to those you've possessed?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to... After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse until Ame no Miyuya. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Ame no Miyuya's body, Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no other. Now, give your body over to me! Join me. That divine
That hurts!
En vrai, il est stylé le perso.
The wind knows me. Clouds high. The birds call. Wind strike.
Je l'ai déchiré.
Do not stand in my way, or I will...
Your bluff's fooling no one. You...
Lost. I can never lose. It is even if you defeat me here, the one who... He is but a puppet that can be replaced. The end result is the same. I will end this, and even if I were to lose my by any means necessary,
Your fighting style. But from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance.
Really? You can tell.
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the... Since the blade is currently possessing Aminome Yuya's body, it's... If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition. You believe...
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin art's secret. In that regard, why would I...
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade, now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You weren't biding your time. You were trapped. After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new hope.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have... Well, that brings me to my second point. That you were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too... I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater... But the way I see it, what began as an ambition...
What would you know about any of this?
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art. But to make this arduous journey, you committed countless atrocities, and showed even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired? Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin art. But even as you made your journey to honor this legacy, you treated the ones who wielded you as mere tools to do your bidding. How could you possibly unleash the full potential of Ishin art when you act in perfect discordance with the principle of...
Silence! I must achieve my goal. I will concede that you are most perceptive. You see my predicament
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. It is pointless to argue further. Descendant of the Kaedahara clan.
How stubbornly. I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So let us make a bet. And I will...
What?
Very well. Then find yourself some enemy. Once we have dealt with them, we shall proceed to tend...
And as for your end of the bargain, if you lose...
I accept.
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Aminome. The cursed blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsessions. This is the reason Mr. Nagato and Aminome Yuya fell prey to it. Since even if things take a turn for the worse, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks in...
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to learn too. Now, take me...
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy at first. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next? Have you...
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot... If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about... Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been...
all right.
What about Aminome...
The blade says he'll let Aminome Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness.
Are we sure this is a good idea? Okay, fine.
Ah, c'est là où on avait été avec la Shogun, non? Je crois. Oh, le scarabouito. C'est tellement rare, le scarabouito. Moi, c'est là où on avait été avec la Shogun. Tiens, ça, j'en ai plus. Let's go. Parce que j'ai toujours Ezu. J'ai vu qu'il allait y avoir des nouvelles quêtes d'histoire aussi. Bah, notamment...
Leave everything on this journey to...
Chef-d'œuvre Tichin. Ancien rituel royal. Okay.
me.
Let's get down to business. To the ferry. Finally, let's get down to business.
Wind Strider.
How's this?
As one with wind and cloud.
To the ferry.
How are you feeling?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become... Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on...
How strange. Rather than trying to control... Let's keep going.
En vrai, stylé Kazuha aussi. Je suis sûr que je pourrais en faire un pour main DPS.
Time to go.
My lucky day.
Parce qu'ils t'en servent de seul DPS, d'après ce que j'ai vu comme build.
Clouds high. The birds...
Je suis explosé.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade... He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting, he will likely break apart at any moment.
But what would that do to...
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve his goal.
Puis en termes de 1v1, il est balèze quand même.
Wind Strider.
Oh oui.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire fight!
Yes. And it looks like...
The shine's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive.
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you... Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and broken. It barely needs stating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then, but regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinacy and cruelty, nor can I empathize with the one who made you. The only one who truly understood you had already passed away.
Huh? What's this?
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help.
Don't worry. I'll use my own. It's just more. It's fine.
Okay.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would.
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal blade does with you. Too much time has passed. My physical state is poor and without proper maintenance. I can only. Yours is the blade that took on the Muso no Hitotachi. And what a magnificent blade it is.
Actually, this is just a generic blade that I picked up during my travels in Liyue. Forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not everything. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the skill, blade, determination, and desire. All these. There is something else I must tell you. Though your maker may not have been aware, your ability to possess your own consciousness derived from the power of the Tatarigami. Tatarigami is a malevolence from the ancient past. It is the source of your mania and savagery. Though you tried to cooperate with me while I was wielding you, the part of you driven by Tatarigami was constantly...
I sensed it, but I couldn't change it. It is an
I resisted its temptations because I wanted to save Amenoma Yuya. But I do not know whether you... I feel a great sense of regret for you. The moment you embarked on this journey, you lost the only person who could have ever unleashed... You have known this for a long time. It is the true source of your despair.
He gave me everything. How could I possibly deny him his wish? I said to him, do not worry, from here on. How could I go back?
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled. I have nothing further.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively.
Wow.
Indeed. While in exile in Snezhnaya, the bladesmith eventually learned the truth behind everything that had happened. He spent the rest of his life in the forge, not to vent his frustration and hatred, but to atone. He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how hard the journey. All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliantly as blade.
So that's the but after that, the blacksmith's intentions were warped by the...
Right. I believe the bladesmith might never have known that the power... This blade has committed unforgivable atrocities, but only because it lost its original master. Yes, time would not wait or stop because of his determination. He seems to have calmed down.
When I look back at the past, I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes, but darkness and slaughter numb the mind. Not only did I fail to fulfill his ambition,
You are finally seeing
since we agreed to the terms of the bet, I will but I still cannot bring myself to forsake his So, may I ask you to help me fulfill the
Hey! Now you're adding yours into the mix too?
It has to be done in this order. At least hear what I have to say. And if you don't agree, I will still release my physical form, as well as the knowledge I possess should still...
His attitude. What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. When I was first forged, my maker was already terminally ill. Alas, after that, he never rose, nor have I ever had the chance to... My fights were devoid of any noble meaning. They were merely the next step in my never-end... You are a fine warrior. I would like to request your hand in battle.
Oh?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you must have plenty of reasons to both hate...
Understood. Then let's start by waking...
I see. He used my body to inflict harm on others. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he did agreement by if a duel can help to set this state of... I do not wish to be a mere victim in this story.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for...
Thanks for your help.
All right, then let's move. More Ronin could appear at any moment. We can't stay. In any case, for a final duel...
Bon, y a rien d'intéressant, y a même pas de truc épique. C'est de la merde.
Squall Fury.
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down, even now, still. Are you ready?
Ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art.
Successor of Amenoma art.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor,
Time to go. Wind Strider. That hurts. Wind Strider. As one with wind and cloud.
Thank you for the... Although he appears battered and broken, in your hands it seemed his sense of savage cruelty has...
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished. There are a few things that I shall leave him.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for...
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishi. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishi... I beseech you, please
Yes. I too trust Mr. Kaedehara to do...
Thank you, successor of...
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like... Maybe we can go back there together.
What does he want?
I'm not sure, but I think that...
Qui a la forge? Je vais me TP là.
The wind rises.
it's Yuya!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade. Turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this wasn't. But I have some good news as well. Ryuji from the Bonton Sango Detective Agency.
Really?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to the.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your...
Yes. He said he wants to take control of me for a brief moment.
What? No way!
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And I have decided...
You... But... He...
Thank you. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes. The cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said it had to be done in that order. His consciousness will disappear forever after fulfilling the...
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions, and thus chose to bear only in the final moments before his consciousness faded.
Seems like he really...
The same fervent ambition that gave him the motivation to keep going. Speaking for myself, I'd rather see him recognize and atone for his mistakes than see him punished for them. I understand. Perhaps this is a flaw in my personality. I've always... Hearing his wish to rival the divine light touched something inside of me, just as the sight of those who fought to repeal the Vision Hunt decree did. Your quest to face the gods and trace your sibling inspires me in the same way. After everything I've seen, perhaps these pursuits fascinate me.
Oh,
I will continue to support you from this point on. Know that you will have my assistance.
wait! Shouldn't we also go update Kujo Kamaji?
Oh, you're right. And it's also time to give him a response to the offer he made me.
Oui, c'est Kazuha qui garde l'épée. J'aurais bien voulu. TP là-haut. C'est un plus simple.
Too slow.
You've returned. I hear that the issue has been resolved. Though this was a treacherous the Tenryou Commission has already attended to the danger at the warehouse. The investigation into Amanome Yuya should conclude soon.
Wow, you sure kept.
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted using a long-lost blade forging art of the Kaidahara clan. By means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to... And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations.
I see.
The Kaidahara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only proper for me to continue on this path. Were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya. That would not suit me.
You misunderstand. That was most certain.
I am aware, but I still desire to continue
Very well. I can understand. However, if you should ever change your mind or find yourself in need of the shogunate's...
Great. Thank you for...
Where will you travel to?
I'll probably... As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
Ok. Oh, j'ai eu l'épée. Let's go. Le rang 1 et c'est son rang max. Elle est pas mal. En vrai, je pense qu'elle est même bien sur Kazuha par rapport à son... Kagotsuru. Oh, ça demande des trucs de fou pour la up. Masque du méchant lieutenant, statuette sombre, carapace spectrale. Je ne sais même pas où est-ce qu'on a ça. Masque de l'unicorne, statuette mortelle, noyau spectral. Masque de Kichin, statuette mortelle, noyau spectral. Sur qui elle est bien? Chin, Chichi, Ayaka. Ayako, c'est marqué. Ayato sûrement. Kichin, Kaya. Ok. Ok. Elle a l'air cool en vrai. Elle est jolie en plus. C'est celle-là que je dois up encore. Pour mettre sur Rosalia. Mais attendez. C'est... Layla, t'as une arme à une main. Remplacer. Tac. Renforcer. Et attaque en pourcentage. Pourquoi que des matériaux? Ça. Moi j'ai plus rien. Où est-ce que j'ai ça? Dans un donjon. Et ça? Serpent noir. Ah, c'est les trucs du gouffre. Ah oui, c'est les petits spectres. D'accord. Ok. Bon, je vois ce que c'est comme matériau. Ok. En vrai, ça va. À part le truc des serpents, là, qui est peut-être un peu chiant. J'ai pas tous mes TP à Inazuma à cause de ça. Je ne sais pas comment l'avoir. Ok, ok. Bon, bah, nouvelle quête d'histoire, on traîne pas. Je ferais bien Eula, parce que je connais pas. Discuter avec Jin. Oh, c'est un monde stat. Ok. J'aurais cru que c'était à Libu. Genre entre Libu et le Kouf. Je pensais que ça aurait été vers là. Ah, j'ai vu qu'il y aurait des autres persos. Daiya. Bah, la meuf de Semeru, là, que j'ai dit que c'est dommage qu'elle est pas jouable. La pyro, là. Je crois que c'est Daiya, comme ça. Et il y aura un autre perso, un Cryo, qui s'appellera Mika, je crois.
Thank you for coming on such short notice, honorary. Well, to make a long story short, there's a particular matter at hand that the Knights requires your assistance with. I have been meaning to have a word with you if the occasion presented itself, but as you know, Mondstadt's safety must— I have recently received multiple reports from the Knights of someone within the Lawrence clan having close dealings with the Fatui.
The Fatui? But who are the Lawrence?
There was a dark period in Mondstadt's history when the aristocracy ruled over the city. The hard-won freedom that followed with the fall of Decarabian was lost once the first Dandelion Knight, Vanessa, spearheaded the revolution that overthrew the old aristocratic system and established the Knights of the aristocrats that had oppressed the people of Mondstadt were none other than the Lawrence clan.
Oh, Paimon gets it! So the clan's descendants are now scheming—
We suspect as much, though we have yet to obtain any solid evidence. Unfortunately, the Knights of Favonius and the aristocracy have been at odds with one another for as long as I can remember. We've already considered every possible way of resolving our differences. But it seems the descendants of— no matter what stance we take when dealing with them, the outcome is always the same. We could come knocking on their door on the grounds of a search warrant, but if the all of our past efforts would have been wasted. You are in fact the best candidate to represent the Knights, but you need not emphasize your role as the honorary knight. You're a traveler from a distant land, and you can approach the aristocrats once you come to friendly terms with the Lawrence clan.
Whoa! Leave it to Master Jean to come up with—
Perhaps such plans have become second nature after all the diplomat— The name of the Lawrence clan member in question is Schubert.
Yeah.
Lately, he can often be found strolling—
Je crois que ça me dit quelque chose. Je l'ai peut-être déjà fait.
Thanks again for your help.
En vrai, faudrait que je retourne sur mon premier compte. Faut que je vois les persos que j'avais. Il me semble que j'avais beaucoup de légendaires. Mais des légendaires comme Ketching, Chichi, j'avais dit Luke aussi. Mais j'en avais pas tant que ça. C'est juste à côté. Je sais que Ketching je l'ai eu qu'une fois, Chichi je l'ai eu qu'une fois aussi. Luke aussi. Et pourtant tu peux les avoir à chaque fois que tu loupes un 50-50. Et pourtant j'ai pas eu Jin, jamais eu Jin.
Huh? Who are you?
Hello!
Hello? Did I hear you correctly? Hello? Huh. And I suppose you think that you can simply strut up here and greet me in such an— Given that I don't recognize you, I can only assume that you are a traveler of some variety. I'll have you know that you are speaking with the Schubert Lawrence. If you wish to address me, you'd best consider your words more carefully. Such nonchalant manners are inadmissible. Now, if you're somehow capable of understanding anything I've said, then you will get down on your knees, apologize for your negligent actions, and give me a proper introduction.
That's etiquette? Paimon's never heard of something so complicated before.
Huh. In former times, when people knew their place and respected traditions, such conduct was only— and neglecting your manners would result in a swift whipping.
On peut pas imaginer une claque dans sa gueule là? Genre,
Look at the
vraiment.
world now.
Rules have been thrown to the wayside and manners for— What did you say? You dare question the dignity of— I'll have you know that though the Lawrence clan is in decline, myself and others have no— Just look around.
Je vais lui péter la
The
gueule.
people are unruly and undisciplined. Save your words. I find your manners and bearing Besides, I am in no way obligated. Now I have more pressing matters to attend.
Je vais lui péter la gueule.
So this is what Master G meant by difficult to get along with. Let's head back and talk things over with her.
Too slow.
Oh. Oh, Ember.
Well, if it isn't the honorary knight. I'm just on my way out to gather some intel. I didn't expect to run into you here. Huh? Judging by your expression, you must have—
Master Jean tasked us with a special assignment, but things seem to have run aground for the moment.
No need to get down on yourself. Sometimes things just don't turn out as planned. Even I can't. You just have to keep at it and never give up. Hey, why don't you let me—
Master Jean asked us to build a connection, but it turns out that he's a—
Aha, Schubert! I know him. Let me guess. He said you didn't have any manners. I've been on the receiving end of his lectures many a time. The Lawrence clan can be very particular about such things.
You mean—
As aristocrats, they believe there should be a certain However, there is one exception among the Lawrence clan. My good buddy, Eula.
Buddy?
That's right. Not only is she from the Lawrence clan, but she's also captain of the Knights of Favonius 4th Company. Eula is special. She's not quite like the other members of her clan. She has her own belief. In other words, she doesn't really adhere to— However, she's still quite knowledgeable about dealing with the Lawrences. I'm sure you'll see what I mean if you meet her.
That's strange. If Eula is a member of the Lawrence clan, then why would Master Jean choose—
Well, it's a little complicated. Basically, the Lawrence clan is frowned upon the fact that Eula joined the Knights. Her family members don't— In their eyes, Eula is nothing but a traitor to the family. She's very easy to get along with. Just explain the situation, and I'm sure she'll— In fact, I think she's out in the wilderness on patrol this morning. You should be able to find—
Thanks, Amber. All right.
Good luck, you two. I've got my own map.
Who would have guessed that—
Bon, on a trouvé là, du coup.
Well, if you want to learn about the conduct of the Lawrence clan, who better to ask than one of their own family members? The Fatui! What are they doing here? Is that why Eula was sent on patrol here? Let's fight first and talk later!
Ok. Mais c'est pas avec une épée à deux mains. Tiens, dans ta mère. Quelle entrée fracassante.
You don't think twice before reaching for your sword, do you? Do you have any— And now you get to stake a claim. You think you're stronger because you got to them first? Mark my words, vengeance will be mine.
What?
That's right. I heard the commotion and came as swiftly as I could, only to find you two already fighting the Fatui. Not only that, you are making quick work of them. If I didn't make my move, you would have been able to take all the credit. Still, I'm glad you're unscathed.
Confronting that number of Fatui at once can be dangerous.
Sorry, Paimon doesn't understand what you mean.
Concern? Why would I be concerned for the safety of my
Arch enemies? Wait a minute, you—
By which I meant, if you were injured, I'd have to escort 2 strangers guilty of stealing my targets all the way back to Mondstadt. Which would mean you'd cause me even more trouble. My vengeance would be swifter still.
Huh? So that's how you see all this?
Yes, that's—
Paimon thinks she's pretty strange. Although at least we can
You dare to call someone you've just met strange? Forget the aristocracy. That's rude even by normal standards. Speaking of which, how do you know my name?
This is the honorary knight of the Knights of Favonius. And speaking of rude, we're trying to investigate an aristocrat named— He's so obsessed with etiquette that he's not even willing to speak with us.
I understand, but why do you mean to investigate him? I see. You have some nerve to faming a family member right in front of me. I will have vengeance for this too.
No. This is an assignment from Master Jean. It's just an investigation, that's all.
To the everyday citizens of Mondstadt, everyone in the Lawrence clan is scum. It's natural for rumors and unwarranted gossip to lead to such suspicion.
Hard to avoid such a reputation when you're known as the ruthless rulers of Old Mon.
Oh, so that's what you think of me?
But didn't you say it first?
Curious. We've only just met, and you've already given me 3 causes for vengeance. It's been a while since I've encountered anyone as interesting as you.
La définition d'intéressant est intéressante.
I assume you need me to teach you the conduct of the Lawrence clan. Only then will you finally be able to communicate.
That's right. Amber told us to come and—
Well then, let's begin your training immediately. It'll be easier to train when we're back in Mondstadt. We'll require other people. We can put that aside for now. Besides, if it's the acting Grandmaster's assignment, and Amber's the one who recommended me.
Ok.
Paimon's confused. This girl's all vengeance this and revenge that. But
Rendez-vous devant la cathédrale.
still,
Ah, c'est pas nomade.
met bigger weirdos before.
Ah, you finally arrived. There's no time to spare, so—
Wait, hold on. There's something we need to clear up first. Otherwise it'll keep bugging us.
So that's still on your mind, huh? Maybe you're the ones who can't let things go. Don't worry, there's a time and place for exacting vengeance. Besides, I'm not in the mood for any
You need—
I already have a long list of vengeance to exact. Even if I wanted to begin now, who knows how long it will be before I get to you.
Well, if you have so much to take care of, wouldn't—
Absolutely not. Stealing my targets, calling me a ruthless ruler, and suspecting my uncle. All worthy of vengeance in my eyes. But you needn't worry, at least not whilst we're investigating this matter. I'm sure you're familiar with the phrase, a man of— If Uncle Schubert didn't commit any wrongdoing, then any such investigation will prove— But if he did commit a wrongful act, then he should bear the full punishment. I'm sure you understand. Good. Now, there are 2 key points that aristocrats attach great importance to: your manner of speech and your bearing. Let's begin with your manner of speech. Aristocrats have a very unique way of carrying conversation, even with mundane daily—
Oh, Paimon's already learned some unique converse. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
Not even close. And besides, it sounds strange.
Hey! Paimon learned it from you! And didn't you say not to call other— It seems you don't respect the rules of your own clan!
No, I've no need to trouble myself with such frivolous formalities. Here, for example, when greeting a friend, you could say, "As the morning dew greets the coming dawn, so do I greet you, my dear friend."
As the morning...
However, such a phrase may only be used during the morning hours. Also, the party with whom you're speaking must be of approximately the same status as you. Morning dew is not uncommon, so it expresses that friendship should not be measured by value, yet also suggests that friendship between aristocrats is pure like water. Oh, no. You must be prudent with your words. Calling someone a good friend could easily offend them.
But didn't you just say my dear friend in your example? Paimon's confused.
Yes, I did. But you must know in the Lawrence family, dear friend is a set phrase that can only be used towards certain friends with whom one is acquainted, but not It sounds much more pleasant to call an acquaintance a dear friend. So however, if you were to use dear friend to address an intimate friend, the recipient would think that you were deliberately trying to estrange them. This is only the first step in making a greeting. After addressing one another, you then exchange courtesies.
Wait. This is, perhaps it would be better...
Ah. Very well. Come with me. We'll...
Ensuite, c'est converser de façon aristocrate avec des gens qui ne connaissent rien.
Oh, you're Eula of the Lawrence clan, right?
You there, lowly laborer. You stand in the presence of a member of the illustrious Lawrence clan. I have words for you. Please acknowledge the glory bestowed upon thee by the nobility... what comes next?
Huh? I can't...
Hold on. What did they always teach me? Whenever a dispute arises, protection of your family's prestige and dignity... Got it. As a lowly commoner, you shall maintain absolute
Is everyone from the Lawrence clan so strained? The days of the Lawrence clan's tyranny have long passed. I don't care what you're trying to do. Just beat it. Like I said, I don't care what you're doing. I have nothing to say to any member of the Lawrence clan. And here's a word of advice. I wouldn't be caught dead walking too closely with any one of their like in my... If that's all, I'll be going. I'm afraid I won't be able to control...
Hey! Don't leave! Halt! Mark my words, vengeance will be mine!
Wow.
Vengeance will be
the
mine.
Lord's name really does
Never mind him. I could have predicted as much.
Elle est jouable, elle ou pas?
You there, lowly toiler. You please acknowledge the... Huh? Why don't you respond? According to the custom, I must wait... right. I mustn't look at you too long, or I'll be drawing more attention to our difference in status. Oh dear, I've already stared at you for quite a while. Fine. You may spare yourself the formality of kneeling, as it may be a little inconvenient. I shall continue. Oh, wait. I think there's a line for people.
Hey! Stop bothering me or else I might say something you wouldn't like to hear. Then again, I've got no words for anyone from the...
Again? What's with this attitude?
Yes, I don't think his attitude will change. If I keep grandstanding like this, the outcome won't be good. Let's try to find someone else to talk. I'll remember your unwillingness to comply. Mark my words, vengeance will be mine.
Mais techniquement, ça veut dire la vengeance sera mienne.
You there,
Bah, je
lowly
n'oublierai
worker.
pas.
Yeah, I've already heard it all before. Look, just spare me the time. Our answer's always the same. I mean, seriously, can't you just take a hint?
Please calm down. We don't want to cut...
I know she's a knight of Favonius, and that the knights wouldn't misplace their trust, but the name Lawrence carries too much weight with it. Even to this very day, the descendants of the Lawrence clan are and if that wasn't enough, here you are purposefully using their awkward way of speaking just to put...
You have a point. But mark my words, this transgression will...
Huh? You wanna fight? Listen here, I may be no match for you, but I'll be sure to lodge a complaint with the Knights of Favonius. I'm sorry, but I want her to understand that Listen here. If you don't want things to get more unpleasant, then you'd better just...
Forget it. There's no point in quarreling any further. Let's go. It's all right. This happens quite often.
Paimon thinks... Actually, Paimon thinks we should apologize for asking you to demonstrate for us. We had no idea the feelings between the Lorens...
What can we do? The Lorens name is already a dirty word among every household in Mondstadt. Even 3-year-olds know the story. I see this kind of attitude all the time. Don't worry. What with me being a Knight of Favonius, they're usually willing to speak a few words. Perhaps my aristocratic manner of speech provoked them today. Believe me, it's not a big issue.
So this is the way things are normally for you? There's no need for them to direct it.
That's the way things are. Perhaps it's just fate for those who have made mistakes. Accepting punishment is only fair, right? As memories are carried in the city breeze, the faults of such grievances are passed from what... At least I have a means of living a relatively normal life compared to the elders of my family. I have nothing to be
Yeah! Why were you so willing to try and demonstrate for us?
Oh, that reminds me. That last person will not escape... Let's leave it at that. Just think of it as something I like to do. But unfortunately, you probably didn't learn much from those conversations. It seems we have...
no need! Besides, the Traveler's pretty sharp, and nothing gets in our way on it, right? Right? We'll just have to roll with it for now. Let's just keep Eula from getting anyone else riled up.
Well then, I'm glad you learned something. You're already halfway toward mastering aristocratic A proper manner of speech is more aesthetic than anything else. It stems from their taste for refinement. But we must also practice your bearing. I have a very effective way of training for this. Come...
La montagne moto-dragon. Qu'est-ce qu'elle veut qu'on foute ici? Il est bien temps, Aristocrate. Oh non, je me souviens de ça.
If you wish to truly achieve the dignified conduct of an aristocrat, for example, you can see that part of the path up ahead is quite difficult to traverse. But a well-trained aristocrat would not only effortlessly proceed forward, but do so without a
Paimon thinks we've left the realm compared to what we've already seen. This should be a piece of cake. This...
You look... Alright, let's get... That won't do. You've exposed your shortcomings. No need to worry. Head back to the starting point and try again. It'll be difficult at... Remember.
Quit following me.
Behold!
Too slow. The wind rises.
Ok, c'était plus simple que...
Not bad. A lot better than I had anticipated.
Paimon almost didn't make it through. So...
This scenario was relatively simple. There's a ley line monolith just up ahead that will attract near... True elegance is the ability to calmly yet swiftly make decisions in the heat of battle. My family set only the highest Let's proceed. This is the ley line monolith. Go ahead, activate it. But be careful not to get launched into the air or frozen while fighting. That would be most unsightly.
Ah, c'était celui-là qui était dur. Je dois pas me faire geler.
Quick fall, wretched vermin! The wind rises.
Heureusement que mon perso est broken.
Well done. You're performance was most and you managed to remain calm even in these grueling dragon spine surroundings. Given such an outstanding
Like Paimon said, so that's it for our
Hold on. I was commending the Traveler's performance just now. You, on the other hand, seem to have made—
what? You mean Paimon was also—
Yes, of course. You were frantically flying and dashing about throughout the entire thing. Not an elegant sight at all. Did you even listen to anything I was trying to teach you?
Hey! That's not true! Paimon was just focusing on—
Whatever the reason, not heeding my instructions. A cause for vengeance. Now—
Huh? What is it?
Certainly not. Didn't you just say that you were freezing? Drink it and it'll help warm you up.
Oh, thank you!
If I wasn't, then why would I care about you being cold? If you turned into a Paimon popsicle, that would ruin my plans for vengeance now, wouldn't it? So, dear friend, don't die on me out here.
Ah! Paimon knew something was off!
All in the name of vengeance. No need to thank me. Now then, given that your training is complete, it's time we return to Mondstadt. I already have something in mind.
Oh, j'ai raté la quête. Il y a Ember qui nous attend.
Oh, hey, Eula. I see you've met the honorary knight.
We meet again, Amber! Seems we're just bound to—
Well, I just got back and was thinking about grabbing a bite at Good Hunter. But now that you're here, why don't we all eat—
Very well. It's been some time since we've last shared a meal together. Come, take a seat. We can discuss my uncle's gift while we eat.
Oui.
Yes? Is there something else you'd like to order? Could you please prepare a serving of my uncle's favorite, gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut? We'll take it as a gift to him later.
Coming right up. It'll take some time to prepare. I'll have it here at the counter once it's ready.
Hold on a moment. Is this satisfying salad also—
No, she didn't order it. But because she didn't order any vegetables, I thought I'd throw in a salad on the house. You know, to contrast all the meat dishes.
So, we clearly didn't order this, yet you prepared it without authorization.
You're gonna take revenge on her?
You should know me by now. That's the kind of villainous character I am. Well then, please wait a moment while I get the dish for your uncle.
Delicious unauthorized delicacies. Sarah will pay for this.
Why would you choose gebratenes Fleisch mit Sauerkraut as—
This dish isn't actually on Good Hunter's menu. Only long-standing patrons such as my uncle would know about the dish. The old aristocrat seemed to take a liking to it.
Because of the sour flavor of the sauerkraut, not too many people are fond of it these days. I guess it's become less popular over time. Eula treated me to the dish once, and I couldn't even finish a bite. I've nicknamed it gebratenes Fleisch mit Vengeance ever since. Ugh.
I never expected us to have such completely different tastes in food. If I weren't in such a good mood, I'd say that constitutes grounds for Of course not. It's hard to find someone in Mondstadt that attracts—
It's fine when you're just joking between us, but I'm afraid our honorary knight might misunderstand. Eula's always talking about vengeance, but that's just how she is. It's nothing you should take to—
But I am serious, and I'll remember every transgression committed against me. Ugh, it's no wonder so many people—
Paimon's starting to realize that Eula is actually a very good There's no need to be so awkward when you want to say something—
Listen, you've never been labeled as a social pariah, have you?
What?
So that's why you wouldn't understand how hard it is for a bad person to try to be good. It's impossible for me, and I have no intention of acting— All right, no need to look so sullen. I'm just kidding. Come on,
Ok.
Ooh, I'm stuffed. I'll see Sarah about the bill.
No need. I've left the mora under the plate. If you try to settle it with her in person, she won't accept payment for the salad. Don't underestimate my ability to exact revenge. All right. Next, you should
Ah,
pay
c'est
my
bien
uncle a
vengé, là.
visit. He has a small...
aren't you coming with us?
I'm afraid that wouldn't be very convenient for me. It'd be better if you two... Ah, yes. Please do remember...
I still have more recon to do in the wilderness. Well...
Let's meet again. What an...
Ok.
Here, the Gebratinous Fleisch. And by the way, don't worry too much when Eula says strange.
Paimon's been meaning to ask. No one could stand the sight of Eula when she was trying to speak with the but she seemed to get along fine with you and Imp.
The people of Mondstadt don't take kindly to anyone bearing the... They're unable to see past her family. Therefore, they don't... So no matter what Eula tries to do, it's seen as a wrongdoing. It essentially strips the meaning of anything.
How come you're able to see Eula different?
Well, when she joined the Knights of Favonius, it caused quite an uproar. Many people signed a petition demanding that the Knights reverse their decision. At the same time, numerous members of the Lawrence clan crowded the entrance of the Knights of Favonius headquarters, clamoring for Eula to give an...
Whoa! So both...
That's right. So you can imagine how determined Eula must have... But thanks to Grandmaster Varka and the unwavering attitudes of others in the Knights of Favonius, they were able to quell the unrest. Tension in the eyes of the people, she's a stain on the Knights, but she simply fulfills her duty as a knight, silently helping one person after a... People like Eula should be approached with care and understanding. She could stand to be treated a little more fairly. I believe a day will come when things...
Once everything's settled, we should go talk to Eula again. Paimon thinks...
I'm glad. I think that would make her very happy. Take care. Please come again.
Ok. Ah oui, j'ai plus de passe de combat. Si j'appuie sur F4, je l'ai plus. Retrouver Schubert. Schubert. Je suis à combien d'explos ici? 100%. Let's go. Faut que je fasse des défis comme ça.
The tent seems to be pretty tattered, but there's a really fancy chair. Could this be another aristocratic...
Ah, it's you again. I thought I had rid myself of you two. A few humble words, huh? Very well. I'm certainly not one to be narrow-minded. I'll overlook your...
Wow, this guy thinks so highly of himself.
Ah, a kindred spirit, I see. Yes, we must resist the blundering knights of... Impressive.
Okay.
My intention
Faut utiliser les
is to
bons mots.
test your humility. It appears you have become well versed in our etiquette.
Oh, so he was testing us.
Your conduct is satisfactory. I must say, such progress in such a short time. If I may ask, from whence did you learn such a civilized manner of speech? Ah, good. Very good. You are bright, and compared with the common folk of...
By the way, we brought a gift. Paimon.
Could this... It's evident that your sentiment is genuine. As a young person now, it's been so long since I dug into a big, tasty... I beg your pardon.
Avec sa de choucroute là.
Ah, yes. This aroma. Just as I remember it. And this...
Now even Paimon's starting to wonder what it tastes...
I acknowledge your genuine goodwill. Such sincerity must certainly imply that you come bearing a... wait, so you've come to know of this too? It was meant to be a family secret. Well, considering your meticulous etiquette, you must be a talent of unusual fortitude. Please, come with me. We happen to be in need to see some friends from a distant
So he trusts us solely based on your etiquette.
Well then, let's get going, shall
Do you think his friends are the Fatui? Things
Ouais,
will
notre
get
épée débloquée.
sticky if the Fatui happen to recognize you. What should we do?
Ah, il faut que j'aille dans un donjon. Oh, là-bas, il y a un coffre.
Oh, glad I saw this. I almost didn't even notice it.
Hydro, cryo. Bon, j'ai ce qu'il faut.
Huh? Why have you put on a mask all of a sudden? Even if they are powerful, our status is much higher than them, and therefore we shouldn't allow them to admire our true faces so easily.
Good thinking. Paimon thought for sure they'd recognize.
Let's proceed, shall we? As you'll see in a moment, there are many already helping us. I heard that this area had already been purged once by the Knights of Favonius, but it's the only place around Mondstadt that is well concealed and spacious enough. Although it has fallen into disrepair and does not suit the tastes of the nobility, we simply have to make do for now.
Sorry, can we walk any faster?
Of course not. An aristocrat always moves with grace in his steps. Moving hurriedly is
As expected, it's the Fatui!
As expected?
Because we always see them around the city. They must be very powerful.
Huh. Nothing more than foreign ruffians with power and the ability to flaunt it.
Puisse.
If they are favorable
D'aller.
Hold it right there. Who's this?
If you really must know, they're my guests. If you happen to offend them in even the slightest...
But this matter is of utmost secrecy. We must exercise caution.
You dare question the ways of a nobleman? I don't have time for this.
No need to sound all high and mighty like that. Fine.
Good thing you're with us. They don't dare to question you.
Of course. That is the benefit of prestige. In past times, it would be a dire offense to speak to a nobleman in such a manner. We could determine
Je me demande si Assiméré va rencontrer Layla.
blink of an eye.
En vrai, je l'aime bien.
And such glory will return to me again before long.
Certes.
Where have I seen this person before? And who, may I ask, is this? We mustn't bring...
This is our new ally that I've recently met. They are completely trustworthy. You have the word of the Lawrence clan.
Our plans are strictly confidential. Furthermore, there's been word that an outlander who joined the Knights of Favonius has been very...
Don't be ridiculous. Besides, my guest is well versed in the etiquette. The Knights of Favonius pay no regard to such details.
And what about this thing?
Ah, salut Ramouchi. Comment ça va?
Enough! You dare question my word? Need I remind you who it is who has met? Without the support of the Lawrence clan, you would have all been driven out by the Knights of Favonius. You must immediately offer your sincerest apologies to my friend. You've offended their honor.
Fine. I'll take your word and make now to the matter at hand. Did you bring the diagram of Mondstadt's defenses as...
Oh, so that's what's going on here.
Yes, of course.
Je suis niveau 49.
Let me see.
Ça va bien, merci.
Why is it so poorly drawn? Everything's so squiggly and crooked. And what is this shape?
Excuse me? I'll have you know that I went to great lengths to that shape is the symbol of the Knights of...
I see. Crude, but I can make do.
Of course, you needn't worry about that. Don't forget what we agreed upon. The flag of the Lord, the rights to that building, as well as the whole of Mondstadt.
Yes, we will both profit from this agreement. There's no use haggling over the... We will make good use of the intel you provided. Also, be certain not to divulge...
Don't worry, this matter is only between you and I. And once this is over, I shall stand atop the Favonius headquarters and rebuke their pathetic rule over Mondstadt.
Okay.
Perfect. Just as it once was, and...
May I remind you once again that we mustn't act...
Very well.
Huh? What are you doing?
That's right! It's the Honorary Knight and their trusty companion, Paimon! We're here to crush your evils...
So this was all just a plot?
It's your own fault! Who would put so much trust in someone...
After so much planning, this is how it ends? Huh? We'll see about that!
Just as I expected. I knew I should have never trusted these foolish... No matter. We already have the intel we need. Get them!
They're running off in different directions. Paimon remembers that this place is a dead end. Let's take care of the Fatui first and then deal with Schubert later. The door is open. Let's go.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Don't touch me! Get out of my way! I'll leave on my own!
It seems we finally caught up with you. This place is crawling. Oh, it's you. It seems your investigation went well.
Aha! I see now. So you're the one that taught them our etiquette. And I thought you Furthermore, there is a rule in our family. Such...
Ah, yes. Rings a bell. So what? I had no reason not to teach them.
You have brought shame to our family, and...
I know that you poured great efforts into these plans, Uncle. But you were well aware that it was not the right thing to do. As a Knight of Favonius...
Knight of Favonius? Let's get one thing straight. I am your uncle, and you are a member of the Lawrence. You still have a chance. Defeat every Knight of Favonius here, and then I shall plead with the family to spare you and give you a new beginning.
So just to be clear, you want a Knight of Favonius to attack the Knights of Favonius?
I shall say this one last time. You are not. The blood of the Lawrence clan flows in your veins.
Since when have I ever complied with the will of the family?
Why, you...
If anyone should be angry, it should be me. As a member of the Lawrence clan, you knowingly plotted against... Had you ever stopped to consider the trouble it would bring to so many people? Had you considered how many enemies you would make, trying to keep...
You dare lecture...
That's right. In the name of the family that you so dearly revere, Uncle Shu, I've never experienced the age of glory you always speak of. And I've never understood our family's incessant pursuit of it. But I am capable of discerning right from wrong. And I deeply understand what the Lawrence clan should never and will never become what you've dreamed.
Oh, the disgrace of it all! How could such a rebellious...
Things are starting to get pretty hysterical here. Politeness and
That's enough fuss for today. You two, take him away. The honorary... Given that you've already taken action, I assume you've come across some conclusive evidence?
Paimon took a peek at their diagram. Your uncle had mapped out all of the Knight's patrol routes.
And there was me thinking that he was just another elder of the family. And a lazy one. Let's discuss this later. Our first priority is recovering that
Ok, faut qu'on mette la main sur ce plan. Et du coup on la joue. ça passe.
More speed.
They're here! Stop them!
Shudder. Beg for mercy. Shudder. Crush.
Moi, j'aime pas trop les épées à deux mains. Je trouve que ça manque de vraiment de vitesse d'attaque.
Shudder.
Faut que je vois son utilise ce qu'il fait.
Beg for mercy.
Squall fury. How amusing. Know your place.
Crush. Beg for mercy. Freeze to the core. Crush. Beg for mercy. More speed.
I will end you.
Crush. Shudder.
Faut que je tue lui, il est en train de le heal.
Crush.
Ouais, tu peux pas t'en servir de main DPS ou tout des
For
choses.
mercy. Shudder. Vengeance will be mine. Crush.
Je l'ai pas tué l'autre. Si? Comment je l'ai tué? Non, je l'ai pas tué.
Shudder. Crush.
Oh, au champ du vent. Et ils y mettent toujours Rituel Royal, hein, tous les personnages.
That's where they put the diagram!
So you trapped us here, huh? I guess there's no other option but to fight!
Yeah, let the show begin. Huh.
You dare provoke me! Fatui, come forth and dispose of them!
Crush. Freeze to the core.
I must counterattack!
Beg for mercy. Shudder.
Ok.
This must be it. But without my uncle as their puppet, there'd be no use in them attacking the city.
The Fatui wouldn't have relied only on your uncle.
True. But if their plan had hinged purely on taking Mondstadt by force, the Fatui are dishonest, but they wouldn't go as far as to start an open war. Their opposition wouldn't just be Mondstadt alone. Anyway, I'll inform the acting Grand Master. She'll know how to handle things from here.
Oh yeah! You suddenly appeared at just—
Yeah, about that. Because you stole my targets by attacking the Fatui I'd been tracking earlier. I came to exact my vengeance. You tried to do my job for me, and I'm here to return the favor.
After all this time, in reality, you sensed that something might happen. You were worried about us and your uncle, so you brought a team to take a look.
My purpose was vengeance. Don't twist the story. You don't look too bright, but it turns out you have a knack for scheming. And mark my words.
Hey, what do you mean Paimon doesn't look too bright?
You have seeded a deep enmity between us. Just you wait. Even if you were to be completely destroyed, I would never forget you.
Bring it on!
I like your fighting spirit. I'll take this diagram back to the Knights of Favonius and—
Sure!
That you will. And make sure not to steal my targets next time.
Ok, c'est fini. C'était une quête plus courte celle-là. Est-ce qu'il faut qu'on aille au QG, voir Chin ou... Je sais fini. C'est fini. Ok. Bon, je vais me TP à mon stat, puis on va se laisser là. J'ai truc à chercher à laquelle les aventuriers, qu'est-ce que c'est? Récompense d'expédition. On va faire lancer des expéditions avant d'aller coucher.
Add Astra.
Ah, ça c'est le 12h. Quelle heure il est? Il va être 10h. Ouais, ça va faire 12h que j'ai joué. Ok. Oui, avec celle-là. Bon, du coup. Hop, moi je vais arrêter là. Normalement, demain matin, je devrais stream. Ouais, demain matin. Je pense qu'on fera les quêtes quotidiennes. Ouais, quêtes quotidiennes. Je sais pas. Bon, je vais peut-être pas faire la quête d'histoire qui me reste, on gardera peut-être. Mais je vais faire la quête quotidienne. Et on continuera la quête principale à Semeru. Il fallait qu'on aille voir un Naïda. Donc on ira faire ça. Sur ce, c'est pas mal en vrai. On aura fait la quête histoire de donc Eula, la fin, et Kazuha. Kazuha qui était vachement intéressante, je trouvais. Bon, sur ce, si jamais vous voulez revoir le live ou si notre live vous intéresse, toutes les rediffusions sont sur YouTube. Bon, j'ai un peu d'avance sur YouTube. J'ai à peu près un mois d'avance là en ce moment. Du coup, c'est cool. Je mets une vidéo toutes les 2 jours. Et aussi, vous pouvez me suivre sur Twitter pour être averti des lives. Voilà. Et n'hésitez pas à follow le live pour aussi être averti. Voilà. Sur ce, je vous souhaite une bonne nuit. YouTube, je vous dis à dans 2 jours. Et sur ce, on se retrouve à la prochaine. Ciao.